Ticket number 6767, generic model device count inconsistencies. So the lists and the pop-up views associated with the generic model list page and the individual generic model page are inconsistent with their counts. So now if we come to the Clampit enterprise level, we come to the prior use certificates. If we look at this generic model ID GM0015, it has a total quantity count of 3. So if we click on the 3, we can see the 3 devices here with their different device IDs. The difference between the detail view and the generic model view was that the detailed list showed all of the events. Now we're just listing the approved events. So if we look at the number of events here for each device, we've got 5. So we've got 15 in total. The number of failures is 0 for each device. So if we now come back and open the generic model ID link, if we come to the device usage certificate and scroll down slightly, we can see that devices in service is a count of 3. The events recorded was 15, 3 lots of 5, and there were 0 failures recorded. So now all of the device counts are accurate. Ticket number 16426, report modification of the SIL Verification report to add the PSTI and PSTC with their unit of measure fields in the outputs table. So if we come to instrumented systems, we come down to a unit, and select a SIF, scroll across to the SIL Verification template, scroll down to the outputs. We can see here we've got the PSTI field with its unit of measure, and likewise with the PSTC field. Ticket number 16460, problem printing HAZOP facilitation grid. So in this screenshot here, the grid contains 10 records, but the PDF is only displaying 4. So if we come to the HAZOP module, onto a unit, we'll come down to a HAZOP study, come to the Facilitation tab, scroll down to the HAZOP deviations and scenarios, export to PDF. If we open the PDF, we can see that we've got 8 pages here, so it's obviously exporting correctly. Just click through a few of them there. Ticket number 16464. Add a down arrow on PFD sensitivity chart row header. So if we look at the image in the ticket, it's not overly clear that you can click on this header to expand it for further information. So in SLM, if we come to instrumented systems, come to the IO sensitivity tab, we can see that we've now got the arrows on this PFD sensitivity chart, so as it's more obvious that there's a drop down option there, which users can then fill in and generate the sensitivity charts. Ticket number 16478. Simplify delete, rename and unlink adapter input files. So for each of the CSV files, for delete, rename and unlink, we're going to go through and essentially remove the channel parameter. If we look at the CSV file for deleting objects, we now just have the type ID, the object ID and the scope. So we'll use this CSV to delete the alarm we can see here, the sprint alarm. So if we come to the delete adapters, we find the delete CSV, queue the task. If we then go to the delete adapter tasks and wait for that to finish, if we come and check the download log, we can see that that alarm has been deleted. So if we come back to SLM, refresh, we can see that now there is no sprint alarm. If we look at the renaming objects CSV file, we have scope, type ID, object ID, and new object ID. So to test this, we'll rename sprint 123 alarm to sprint 456. So if we come to the processing adapters, click on rename objects, find our CSV file for renaming, click Queue task. We then come to our processing adapter tasks. We can see that has been completed. If we just check the download log, we can see that the alarm has been renamed to sprint 456. We come to SLM and refresh. We can see that the alarm is now sprint 456. If we look at the Unlink CSV file, we can see that we have the child type ID, child object ID, parent type ID, parent object ID, and the scope. And we can see that this alarm sprint 456 exists in the site review 2 and the site review. So we're going to unlink the sprint 456 alarm from the site review. So if we come to the processing adapters and click unlink objects, select our CSV file, queue the task. We now come to the processing adapter tasks. We now check the download log. We can see that sprint 456 has been unlinked. We come back to SLM. We can see that the sprint 456 alarm has been successfully unlinked. Ticket number 16488, test event endpoint. So if we come to Postman, come to QA demo, come down to the events folder and create a test event. The parent hash value that we're going to be using is the test group hash. So we're going to be passing an object ID of test sprint. The event as found and as left will be passed with failsafe failures. The event date will be the 22nd of April 2021. And the test notes will just be sample test notes. And inside the device event, the failure type will be device failure. And the event as found and as left will be fail with dangerous failures. So if we now run this, come back to SLM and refresh, we can see that we've got our new test event, test sprint, with the event ID. The date is the 22nd of April. As found and as left is passed with failsafe failures. We've got the test notes in there. If we come to the device test results tab and expand this input device, we can see that we passed across the as found and as left fail with dangerous failures, and the failure type is device failure. Ticket number 16492, port over LOPA study report to Chromium printout. If we come to LOPA, come to the reports, come to the LOPA study report, we select a site, a unit, and a LOPA study. Click generate, save the report. Let's open the report and have a quick look. There's quite a few LOPA sheets in there, so we'll just look at the first one. Everything is displaying there as expected.